But let's keep it down to the country for right now, because that's the thing. But there's never been anything like MAGA. When Biden says, we have to stop MAGA, we will stop MAGA. I said, he doesn't know what MAGA stands for. It stands for Make America Great Again. How can you be against that? How can you be against that? And you know, the other side's going around trying to make me sound extreme, like I'm an extremist. I'm not. I'm a person with great common sense. I'm not an extremist at all. Like some on the right, severe right, came up with this Project 25, and I don't even know. I mean, some of them I know who they are, but they're very, very conservative, just like you have. They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25. He's involved in Project, and then they read some of the things and they are extreme. I mean, they're seriously extreme. But I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. But what they do is misinformation and disinformation, and they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. What did I do against democracy?
Now that's my president. Hey, welcome to Dino Reacts. Come on this journey with me as we go from ignorance to excellence. And right now today, we got Christopher Wray talking about he don't think Donald Trump got shot. Like that even matters. But I want to hear what this man got to say. So as always, let's get after it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't messing with the FBI, CIA after the Hunter Biden laptop story. Until those 51 agents who confirmed that it was fake come up and apologize, anything that come out of any of these directors' mouths is false to me. So before we get started, that's where I'm coming from. I know I'm a little biased, but at least let's listen to this guy. Let's go.
Tell me about the drone. You act like you wanted to fill us in on that. Fill us in.
So we have recovered a drone that the shooter appears to have used. It's being exploited and analyzed by the FBI lab. The drone was recovered in his vehicle. So at the time of the shooting, the drone was in his vehicle with the controller. In addition, our investigation has uncovered.
Do you know what time of day he flew it, and if he flew it on the day of the shot?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So in addition, it appears that around 3:50 p.m., 4 o'clock in that window, on the day of the shooting, that the shooter was flying the drone around the area.
2 hours.
About 11 minutes. I want to be clear, but when I say the area, not over the stage and that part of the area itself, but I would say about 200 yards, give or take, away from that. We think, but we do not know. So again, this is one of these things that's qualified because of our ongoing review, that he was live streaming, viewing the footage from that, again, about 11 minutes in around the 3:50, 4 o'clock p.m. range.
2 hours before he's flying a drone in the vicinity of.
Did he just say we don't know? I almost want to end the video right here. But we're going to continue. Like, how do you come to Congress unprepared? We always say, do not let the FBI investigate themselves. We are so far gone. That's all right. Let's keep going.
We're about 200 yards away, yes.
Okay, that's important information. What about the bombs that we've heard about in the shooter's car?
So again, the FBI lab is exploiting those explosive devices.
Yep.
We've recovered 3 devices, 2 in his vehicle and 1 back in his residence.
Are these what you would call, your experts would call sophisticated operations, or this? I don't know. That's what I've been told by people who have some understanding of this area.
Yeah, I think it's. We've seen more sophisticated and less. I would say these are relatively, again, keyword relatively crude devices themselves, but they did have the ability to be detonated remotely. And so to that point, in addition to the 2 devices that we recovered out of his vehicle, there were receivers for those two explosive devices with the devices, and then on the shooter himself, when he was killed by law enforcement, he had a transmitter with him. Now, I do want to add one important point here, is at the moment, it looks to us, again, ongoing review, and I can't say that too many times. At a moment, it looks like because of the on-off position on the receivers, that if he had tried to detonate those devices from the roof, it would not have worked. Okay. But that doesn't mean the explosives weren't dangerous.
Butler, Pennsylvania, I read some.
So what was he planning to do then? Right? Was he like gonna shoot the president, die? Because of course there's gonna be snipers there. They had to see him, so that had to be a part of it. Or did he actually think he was gonna get away? If he actually thought he was gonna get away, that's a whole nother thing. And then what? Blow up his car because all the evidence was in his car, and it seems like they ain't finding no evidence. 20-year-old with no media. Impossible. There's no way that's happening today, man. Ooh, the conspiracy bug starts to want to play off in the head. But let's get back into this.
Something about a ladder. He used a ladder to get up on that roof, and that the ladder was found somewhere a distance away. Is that true?
So we do know that he purchased a ladder. I think, if I recall correctly, it was about a 5-foot tall type of ladder. But importantly, we did not find the ladder at the scene. So it's not clear that he used the ladder to get on top of the roof.
So you don't think
we're
the ladder...
still digging into all that, things related to the ladder and his access to the roof. But he did buy a ladder, but the ladder was not found at the scene.
Ladder didn't have any feet on it. It didn't walk off.
Yeah, right.
How many shots did the shooter fire?
Well, we know that he fired at least 8 because we recovered 8 cartridges on the roof.
Were you able to determine whether the shooter took the gun up with him when he climbed up to the top of the roof, or was it already placed there somewhere?
So that is something that we're drilling into right now that we don't know the answer to yet. I can tell you, which may be relevant, though, to your question, that, and I don't think this has been reported yet, that the weapon had a collapsible stock, which could explain why it might have been less easy for people to observe, because one of the things that we're finding is people have observed him, the first people to observe him with the...
What do you mean? There's video out on the internet and all over TikTok of people yelling, there's a shooter on the roof, he has a gun. There's videos going around of this red-haired dude talking about he told cops, like, for minutes, up to 5 minutes before, that, yeah, we watching this guy go up the roof on a ladder with a gun. Now we want to talk about some collapsible gun? Listen, we're at this point, there's no longer, if you're law enforcement agents, the Secret Service or the Department of Homeland Security, if they didn't notice the shooter. We're way beyond that. There were so many instances of people yelling that he was there, and in videos of officers walking by nonchalantly. So you can't, who are you trying to save here? Because other than Cheeto, the lady from the SSS that from the Secret Service that just resigned, there's a lot more heads that need to be rolling on this one. This is a high level drop the ball. You know what I'm saying? I know you weren't there, you weren't responsible for the optics to this, but I don't trust you, sir, at all. And I don't trust you to give me the right information. So there's too many videos out there right now of up to what I know of, up to at least 2 minutes and 20 seconds of people responding to that guy being on the roof, that it didn't get to the president enough time before he got bullets shot at him. So they talking about a collapsible gun, man, miss me with that BS.
Weapon were when he was already on the roof, and we haven't yet found anybody with firsthand observation of him with the weapon walking around beforehand. So that doesn't mean he wasn't, obviously, but the collapsible stock is potentially a very significant.
Are you kidding me? How do I know about this before you do? Listen, man. Listen, man. This is the language of cover up. It's smoke and mirrors. Oh man, just keep it going, man. Before I lose my mind.
A feature that might be relevant to that.
You mentioned about 2 hours before the incident that he'd had a drone and he was using a drone. Instead of me putting words in your mouth, just tell me how you discovered the drone, how you discovered the time, and how you discovered. If you can describe what he would have been observing with the drone and how you determined that, please.
So this is something that's very much ongoing right now. We're going back and forth with our lab as they continue to do work on it. What I would say is the drone was in his car. As I said, we've been able to, by exploiting the drone, determine its use and flight paths. There were no pictures or videos on the drone of the day of the rally, for example, but we have been able to reverse engineer the flight path of the drone from the day of the rally, and that's how we know that for about 11 minutes, from I think it's around 3:50 p.m. to 4 p.m., somewhere in that range, he was flying the drone, and we have the flight path. It's about 200 yards away from where former President Trump would ultimately be speaking.
Where exactly? Was it over the roof that he shot from? Was it over the parking lot? You have the pictures. You have the flight path. What was in the pictures? You keep saying 200 parts away, but 200 parts away of what? Give me that. Man.
And so that would have primarily given him a vantage point. Trying to think how to describe this. If the former president's podium is that way,
Yeah.
the drone would be over here looking, say 200 yards again off this way, looking back. So it would have shown the shooter, we think. Again, we're still doing more work on this. I really want to qualify what I'm saying, but I'm trying to be transparent and lean in here. We think it would have shown him kind of what would have been behind him.
But when you say behind him, behind the shooter.
Correct. Like in other words, almost like giving him a rear view mirror of the scene behind him, except again, he wasn't flying it overhead while he was later back for the assassination.
But he would have
Damn
had,
sense.
with the drone, he would have been able to also assess kind of because the stage, I assume, was already set. He would have been able to assess that angle with the rooftop as well, forward and backward, I assume.
Well, certainly going towards the podium. Again, we're still trying to figure out exactly what he saw because we're having to, in effect, because there's no recording of what he saw during those 11 minutes, our hypothesis at this point, the experts think he would have been live streaming it. And so we're trying to, in effect, say, okay, if this was the flight pattern, given these capabilities of the drone, what would you have seen? What could you have seen for those 11 minutes? And again, it wasn't over the stage or the kind of the hub of the rally. It was about 200 yards away, but it looks like it would have been looking, let's say, length of a football field or so, more, kind of towards the podium.
Great, thank you, Mr.
How many separate times was the shooter on the premises?
So again, with the caveat that we're continuing to do work on it, we believe that the first time he traveled to the grounds was, I think, a week before, and he spent roughly 20 minutes there. Then he went to the grounds again on the morning of the event, it appears, for about 70 minutes, I think. But again, I qualify that. I'd have to go back and look to be sure of that part. And then he came back in the afternoon. So that would be, I guess, a third time for good. But that included things like this drone activity we just talked about. It does appear fairly clear that he was interested in public figures, kind of more broadly, and I think this is important, that starting somewhere around July 6th or so, he became very focused on former President Trump and this rally. And so one of the things that I can share here today that has not been shared yet is that we've just in the last couple of days found that from our review, to your point about devices, analysis of a laptop that the investigation ties to the shooter reveals that on July 6th, he did a Google search for, quote, how far away was Oswald from Kennedy? And so that's a...
See, that's one thing, man. This it don't smell. It don't. The way this man is don't pass no smell test. Like they know all this little tidbit information, but like he had no social media. Everything was scripted. I don't believe none of this, man. I don't believe none of this. Oh, he did look up Lee Harvey Oswald, but he had no media, had nothing that's claiming this. And then, I know y'all probably heard this about everybody saying he's a registered Republican. Do y'all not know during this year how many people registered Republican in the primaries to vote against Trump? They registered as Republicans to take votes away from Trump. That happened through all types of primaries in swing states. So you get, and on top of all that, from Lisa Navarro and all these little crazy Republicans on The View, and definitely the Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney types, do you think all Republicans are on Trump's side? So that ain't nothing can say. And there ain't nothing out there to prove that he's a Trump supporter. And okay, and also, I watched something earlier about some people said that there were MAGA and Trump paraphernalia outside of his family home. Quote unquote, it's his family home for the people in the back. Ain't got nothing to do with him. He could have been completely upset that he probably, you know me, I'm speaking out of speculation. He could have probably been pissed off that he's going to some liberal school and his parents are Trump supporters, so it could have drove him fucking crazy in his little fucking head that he had to keep going home and people say, you support Trump? And everybody at school is blah, 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 progressive. And all this crazy stuff that's going on. I'm in California. It's ludicrous out here. But like, I don't want to use none of that nonsense, but you ain't giving me no good information, sir. You ain't giving me nothing. Ugh.
Search obviously is significant in terms of his state of mind. That is the same day that it appears that he registered for the Butler rally. So far, underline, so far, we have not found any evidence of any accomplices or co-conspirators.
Well, okay. That video ends right there. And I'm going to tell you right now, man. This don't pass the smell test. Let's see what we got on this next clip. Yeah, that last clip was bogus. Straight up bogus. But I found a clip I was looking for. This is the information we're going to get right now. This guy talking that BS. Let's go.
President Trump. Does that account for, were some of these individuals hit multiple times? Where did all 8 bullets go is, I guess, my question.
I don't have that in front of me. I'm happy to circle back and get that to you. It's assuming we have that information yet. As I said, I think with respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear.
Oh my God. Okay, so just let me just get into this. As you can see in my thumbnail, I have the video of if you just look at my thumbnail, you'll see the bullet whizzing behind his head as he got shot in the ear. That's number 1. 2, why even say that? That's completely like discrediting the fact that somebody tried to assassinate the president. Why would you even say that? And 3, shrapnel can kill people. So what is this man even trying to get at? What is he trying to say? What narrative is he trying to push out there? And the fact that one other person got killed and another person, 2 other people got injured. Are you just trying to minimize the effects of what happened that day by saying, oh, Trump may not have gotten hit by a bullet. He only got hit by shrapnel. What are you trying to discredit? That Trump didn't take a bullet for democracy? He took shrapnel for democracy. Trump barely dodged an assassination. That's enough. Man, dude, these guys are, they're sick people.
So it's conceivable, although as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else. But I believe we've accounted for all of the shots and the cartridges. So let us get that.
It's my understanding that the very first one was the one that hit the president. Is that the very first shot, or is that not accurate?
I don't, as I sit here right now, I don't know the answer to that. I believe we know the answer to that. I just don't have it in front of me.
Okay. Okay. Is there any chance I mean, it seems to me that this bad guy.
Why would you even come up there and say that when you don't have the information? Well, I don't know. Then why even say it? That's what I'm saying. This is cover-up language. This is smoke and mirrors. Look over here. Look over here. Look over here. Don't look over here. That's not good. You ain't gonna get down with that, bruh. You don't understand? The liberal administration then brought ignorance to excellence. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got me paying attention to everything. You can't lie to me no more. And look at you, still doing it.
The shooter was focused on President Trump, but you indicated that he purchased 50 rounds of ammunition, I believe, earlier that day. Do you have any indication thus far in your investigation that in addition to going after and trying to assassinate the former president, he was also looking to do a lot more damage to other individuals?
That's a hard question to answer. What I would say is,
Also, a little bit earlier, did you see that after he made that statement, who did he look to on the side? I know y'all saw that. Who did he look to on the side?
agree with you that his preparatory activity is what we've seen so far, the limited information that has been relevant and interesting about his preparatory activity does seem to be that he had settled on former President Trump as a target and this rally as his moment to try to take a shot. But in addition to the 50 rounds, of course, you have the issue of these explosive devices.
Right.
And so what else he may have had in mind is something that I think is very much of an open question.
Yeah. A whole lot of nothing. I'm telling you, I'm just going to say it. They tried to assassinate the president. By divine intervention, he turned his head and did not get shot. By some stroke of God, that those bullets, I saw a bullet rendition, did not get to him just because of where the bleachers were and he couldn't act the shot, and that's what ended up killing him. Rest in peace, Corey. And shout out to his 2 daughters and his wife. My prayers go out to you. But now this is the cover-up. Because they already had the spin ready. They was going to blame it on being, oh, it wasn't a liberal shooter. The guy there was nothing on his media that said he was liberal and that said that he was a Trump supporter, said he was a Biden supporter, so it couldn't have possibly be anybody on the left. They had that story ready to go. You know what I'm saying? They scrubbed everything clean to make sure that none of us can find anything. So no outside source can find anything about his allegiance to the left. They had everything was prepared. After that Trump was gone, boom. They was going to drop Biden. Boom. They was going to install Kamala Harris. Boom. But their story got all messed up. So what they doing now? Oh, they're coming up with the chess move, B6. They're trying to move that queen around. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And this is what we're getting right now. But hey, this is a battle between good and evil. Evil has all the power. Because this is evil. If you understand the Bible, this is the evil's world. You know what I'm saying? It says, be in the world, but not of the world. I may get that mixed up, but I'm pretty sure I'm close. But the evil has all the moves and all the powers. We have to stick to God's glory and grace and move within his purpose. That's what Trump is doing. That's why with everything that's happened to him, he has only been growing in popularity. So right now, just hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line, because these emotional libs will destroy themselves. Just don't help them do it. Jesus. As you can see, there's something very fishy going on here, man. I don't really think these guys are telling us the truth about this. This smells like a setup, man. From everything this man Trump's been going through, man, from indictments to them, now they want to call him a felon, and now they're going to just ride him out. This year is crazy. But I know one thing for sure. God rests in our heart, God rests in our soul, and goodness will always prevail. We just got to hold the line. We got to hold the line. Do not be out there and get on the bandwagon of what the left wants. Do not talk about race. Do not talk about gender. Do not talk about sexism. stick to the policies, because they are still the party that want to put men in girls' bathroom, men in women's sports. They want to destroy the family. They believe that strong, masculine men should be taken out of the home. They want endless wars. They want to just keep spending money that we don't have. They want to continually spread the government. They want to open the borders and not give us our sovereignty amongst ourselves. They do not want a country under God at all. They want to just completely destroy the fabric of what's natural in this country. Their policies are still crap and will always will be. So just hold the line, stay calm, and just gladly slide some truth out there to them, because they want you to attack them so they can get emotional. You know what I'm saying? They want to get emotional so they can just sprue this divisiveness and hate. Divisiveness, evil, and the lack of integrity. DEI. Wow. What a crazy year, right? Welcome to another Dino Reacts. If you like my content, like, comment, or subscribe. And as always, chef's kiss.